Welcome to Deep Sleep Studios, a place to calmly explore the most astonishing parts of our universe while helping you drift off to sleep. Tonight, we'll descend together into the quiet depths of the world's oceans, where remarkable creatures move through realms of blue and shadow. This is a place for gentle attention and unhurried curiosity, and also for letting go. If you're enjoying Deep Sleep Studios, you can like the video and subscribe for more gentle journeys like this. And if you'd like, leave a comment with where you're listening from and what time it is. It's comforting to know who else is out there quietly. There is no need to remember anything from our journey tonight. No need to hold on to facts or images or names. Let them wash over you like gentle currents, like the soft movement of water against stone. We are going to travel slowly, as if we ourselves were drifting on invisible tides. Our vessel is a quiet ship that has all the time in the world. The ocean covers more than 70% of our planet's surface. It is a vast and ancient world, older than any forest, older than any mountain range we can see from land. Life began in these waters billions of years ago, and in the depths below, creatures continue to live in ways that seem almost dreamlike to us. Tonight, we'll visit them in their homes. We'll observe without disturbing, floating as silent witnesses to their quiet lives. The pace of the ocean is different from the pace of land. Things move more slowly here, carried by currents rather than driven by urgency. And so we'll move slowly too. Let your breathing become like the gentle swell of waves. Let your body become heavy and relaxed, as if you were floating in warm, calm water. There is nothing you need to do right now except rest. Nothing you need to solve, or plan, or remember. Just let yourself drift with us, down into the blue. The surface waters. We begin at the surface of the sea, where sunlight still reaches down through the water in long, golden columns. This is the sunlit zone, the uppermost layer of the ocean, where light penetrates and warms the water. It extends down about 200 meters, though in clear tropical waters, light may reach even deeper. Here, the water is alive with tiny organisms, too small to see individually, but together they form great clouds of life. These are the phytoplankton, microscopic plants that drift on the currents. They are responsible for producing much of the oxygen we breathe on land. Each day, they perform the quiet work of photosynthesis, turning sunlight into energy. They are so small, yet so numerous, that they form the foundation of nearly all ocean food webs. We float among them now, though we cannot see them clearly. The water around us has a faint greenish tint, a sign of their presence. Small fish dart through these upper waters, their silver scales catching the light. A school of anchovies moves past us, thousands of individuals swimming as one. They turn together in perfect synchronization, creating patterns that shift and flow like liquid silver. No single fish leads the school. Instead, each fish responds to its neighbours, and from these simple responses, complex patterns emerge. It is a kind of collective intelligence, a wisdom of the group. The school flows around us and continues on its way, seeking the tiny organisms it feeds upon. Above us, the surface of the water ripples with light. From below, it looks like a ceiling of shifting silver, constantly moving, constantly changing. This is what fish see when they look up towards the sky. A world of light and motion, where air meets water. We drift a little deeper, leaving the brightest light behind. The water grows cooler here, and the blue deepens around us. A sea turtle glides past, its flippers moving in slow, graceful strokes. This is a green sea turtle, named not for its shell, but for the colour of its fat, which is tinted green by the seagrasses it eats. Green sea turtles can live for more than 80 years. This one may have been swimming these waters since before many of us were born. It moves with ancient patience, unhurried and calm. Sea turtles are air breathers, like us. They must return to the surface regularly to fill their lungs. But they can hold their breath for hours when resting, slowing their heart rate to conserve oxygen. The turtle descends toward a meadow of seagrass far below. We'll follow it down, drifting slowly through the blue. The seagrass meadows. The seagrass meadow spreads out before us like an underwater prairie. Long green blades sway gently in the current, creating waves of motion across the seafloor. This is one of the most productive ecosystems on Earth. Sea grass meadows capture carbon dioxide and release oxygen, just like forests on land. A single acre of seagrass can support thousands of fish and invertebrates. The green turtle settles among the grass and begins to feed. Its beak-like mouth tears at the blades, and small clouds of sediment rise around it. Turtles have been grazing these meadows for millions of years. They help keep the grass healthy by preventing it from growing too tall and blocking sunlight from reaching the bottom. Small fish shelter among the grass blades, hiding from predators. A group of young seahorses clings to the swaying stems. Seahorses are poor swimmers, so they anchor themselves with their curling tails. They wait for tiny shrimp and plankton to drift within reach of their tubular snouts. A seahorse can eat up to 3,000 tiny organisms in a single day. Yet they do so with such stillness that they seem almost motionless. The male seahorse is the one who carries the eggs. The female deposits them in a special pouch on his belly, and he nurtures them until they hatch. When the babies emerge, they are perfect miniatures of their parents, fully formed and ready to swim. Nearby, a small ray rests on the sandy bottom between clumps of grass. Its flat body is covered with a pattern of spots that helps it blend with the sand. This is a blue spotted ribbon-tail ray, found in the warm waters of the Indo-Pacific. Its eyes sit on top of its head, watching for danger even while it rests. The ray's mouth and gills are on its underside, pressed against the sand. It breathes by drawing water in through small openings behind its eyes, called spiracles. This allows it to breathe without having to move or lift its body from the bottom. The ray is patient and still, waiting for small crabs or worms to emerge from the sand. When prey comes near, it will strike with surprising speed. But for now, it simply rests, conserving energy. We drift over the meadow, watching the grass sway below us. The light here is soft and green, filtered through the water and the grass itself. A small octopus moves along the edge of the meadow, its body changing color as it goes. Octopuses have remarkable control over their skin. They can change not only their color, but also their texture, creating bumps and ridges to match their surroundings. This one flows over rocks and sand, shifting from brown to grey to mottled green. It is hunting for small crabs hidden in the grass. Octopuses are highly intelligent creatures. They can solve puzzles, open jars, and remember solutions for long periods. Yet they live only a year or two, their brilliant minds flickering briefly in the ocean's depths. The octopus finds a crab and engulfs it with its webbed arms. Then it moves on, disappearing into a crevice in the rocks. We continue our journey, leaving the sea grass meadow behind. The sea floor begins to slope downward and the water grows deeper. Ahead, we can see the outline of a coral reef rising from the bottom. The coral reef. The coral reef emerges from the blue like an underwater city. It is a structure built by tiny animals over thousands of years. Coral polyps, each no larger than a fingernail, secrete calcium carbonate to form hard skeletons. Generation after generation, these skeletons accumulate, creating massive structures. The Great Barrier Reef, the largest coral reef system on Earth, is visible from space. It stretches for more than 2,000 kilometers along the coast of Australia. But even small reefs, like this one, are home to extraordinary diversity. We drift closer, and the reef reveals its colors. There are corals in shades of pink and purple, orange and yellow, green and blue. Some corals branch like trees, reaching up toward the light. Others form massive boulders, their surfaces covered with intricate patterns. Still others spread across the rock in flat plates, maximizing their exposure to sunlight. Coral polyps have a partnership with tiny algae called zooxanthellae. These algae live inside the coral's tissues and perform photosynthesis. They share the sugars they produce with the coral, providing most of its nutrition. In return, the coral provides the algae with shelter and access to sunlight. This partnership is ancient and delicate. When the water grows too warm, the coral expels its algae, turning white. This is called coral bleaching, and if it lasts too long, the coral may die. But today, the reef before us is healthy and vibrant. The water is the right temperature, and the corals glow with life. A clownfish peers out from the tentacles of an anemone. The anemone's stinging cells would harm most fish, but the clownfish is immune. A layer of mucus on its skin protects it from the stings. In return for this shelter, the clownfish chases away fish that might nibble on the anemone. It also provides nutrients through its waste. The clownfish rarely ventures far from its anemone home. It may spend its entire life within a few meters of where it was born. Male clownfish can change into females if the dominant female dies. This ensures that a breeding pair is always present. The clownfish watches us with bright, curious eyes, then retreats deeper into the tentacles. We drift along the reef face, observing the countless creatures that make their homes here. A parrotfish scrapes at the coral with its beak-like teeth. It is eating the algae that grow on the coral's surface, and in the process, it ingests bits of coral skeleton. These pass through its digestive system and emerge as fine white sand. A single parrotfish can produce hundreds of kilograms of sand each year. Much of the white sand on tropical beaches was once coral, processed by parrotfish. The parrotfish moves slowly along the reef, leaving a trail of sand behind it. Its scales are brilliant blue and green, like a living jewel. At night, some parrotfish wrap themselves in a cocoon of mucus. This cocoon masks their scent from predators like moray eels. It takes about half an hour to produce, and the fish sleeps inside it until morning. A moray eel watches from a crevice in the reef. Only its head is visible, its mouth opening and closing as it breathes. Moray eels look fierce, but they are not aggressive toward humans. They open their mouths to pump water over their gills, not to threaten. This one is a green moray, though its color comes from a layer of yellow mucus over blue skin. Morays hunt mostly at night, slipping through the reef in search of sleeping fish. During the day, they rest in their dens, patient and still. The eel's eyes follow us as we pass, but it makes no move to leave its shelter. We continue along the reef, marveling at the complexity of life here. A cleaning station comes into view, marked by the presence of small striped fish. These are cleaner wrasses, and they perform a vital service for larger fish. They pick parasites and dead skin from the bodies of their clients. A large grouper hovers at the station, its mouth open wide. The tiny wrasses swim inside, cleaning its teeth and gills. The grouper could easily swallow them, but it remains perfectly still. This is a relationship built on trust, a truce in the endless competition for survival. The wrasses get food, and the grouper gets relief from parasites. Both benefit, and so the arrangement continues, generation after generation. The grouper closes its mouth gently when the wrasses are finished, and it swims away. Another fish takes its place, waiting patiently for its turn. We drift upward toward the top of the reef. Here, the light is brighter, and the corals grow more densely. A hawksbill turtle rests on a ledge, its beautiful shell patterned with overlapping scales. Hawksbills are critically endangered, hunted for centuries for their shells. But they are protected now, and slowly their numbers are recovering. This turtle feeds on sponges, which are toxic to most other animals. Its narrow beak allows it to reach into crevices where sponges grow. The turtle watches us calmly, then pushes off from the ledge and glides away. Its movements are effortless, as if it were flying through the water. We follow at a distance, not wanting to disturb its peace. The turtle descends toward a sandy channel between two sections of reef. Here, the bottom is flat and open, a highway for creatures moving between habitats. A spotted eagle ray glides along the channel, its wings rippling like fabric. Eagle rays are among the most graceful swimmers in the ocean. They can leap from the water, spinning in the air before splashing back down. No one knows exactly why they do this. Perhaps to dislodge parasites, or perhaps simply for the joy of it. The ray passes beneath us, its white spots bright against dark blue skin. It is hunting for clams and crabs buried in the sand. Its flat teeth can crush the hardest shells. The ray moves on, disappearing into the blue distance. We pause here in the channel, letting the current carry us gently. The reef rises on either side, full of life and colour. Fish of every shape and size swim past. Some travel in schools, others alone. Some are brilliantly coloured, advertising their presence. Others are camouflaged, blending perfectly with their surroundings. Each has found its place in this complex community. Each has a role to play, a niche to fill. The reef is like a city, with neighborhoods and territories, routines and relationships. It has been here for thousands of years, growing and changing, adapting and enduring. And it will be here long after we have gone. We drift on, leaving the reef behind, descending into deeper water. The light begins to fade, and the blue grows darker. We are entering the twilight zone. The twilight zone. The twilight zone begins where the sunlit waters end. It extends from about 200 meters to 1,000 meters below the surface. Here, only a faint blue glow penetrates from above. It is not quite dark, but it is no longer truly light. This is a realm of shadows and silhouettes. Creatures here have adapted to the dimness in remarkable ways. Many have enormous eyes, gathering every available photon. Others have abandoned sight altogether, relying on other senses. We descend slowly, letting our eyes adjust to the growing darkness. The water is colder here and very still. A lanternfish drifts past, its body dotted with tiny lights. These lights are called photophores, and they produce bioluminescence. Lanternfish use them to communicate, to attract mates, and to confuse predators. They are among the most abundant fish in the ocean. At night, they migrate upward to feed on plankton near the surface. By day, they return to the twilight zone to hide from predators. This daily migration is the largest movement of animals on Earth. Billions of creatures rising and falling with the cycle of light and dark. The lanternfish continues on its way, its lights blinking softly. We watch it disappear into the gloom. A siphonophore drifts past, its body stretching for meters through the water. Siphonophores are not single animals, but colonies of many individuals. Each individual, called a zooid, has a specialized function. Some are responsible for swimming, others for feeding, others for reproduction. Together, they form a single organism, working in perfect coordination. This siphonophore glows with a soft blue light, its tentacles trailing behind. It is hunting for small fish and crustaceans. Its stinging cells can paralyze prey on contact. The colony drifts slowly, patient and silent. It may be decades old, growing longer with each passing year. Some siphonophores can reach lengths of 40 meters or more. They are among the longest animals on Earth. We give it a wide berth, admiring its strange beauty from a distance. The twilight zone is home to many creatures that seem almost alien. A barrel-eye fish hovers in the water, its head encased in a transparent dome. Through this dome, we can see its tubular eyes pointing straight up. The barrel-eye watches for the silhouettes of prey against the faint light above. Its eyes can rotate within its head, allowing it to look forward when needed. The transparent dome protects its eyes from the stinging cells of jellyfish. The barrel-eye feeds on jellyfish and the small creatures that become trapped in their tentacles. It is a patient hunter, hovering motionless, waiting for food to drift within reach. We watch it for a while, fascinated by its strange appearance. Then we continue our descent, going deeper still. A giant squid passes in the distance, its body a blur of red and white. Giant squid are elusive creatures, rarely seen alive by humans. They live in the deep ocean, hunting fish and other squid. Their eyes are the largest of any animal, the size of dinner plates. These enormous eyes help them see in the near total darkness. Giant squid are preyed upon by sperm whales, which dive deep to hunt them. The battles between these titans leave scars on the whale's skin. But we will not witness such a battle tonight. The squid vanishes into the darkness, and we continue on. A vampire squid drifts past, its webbed arms spread wide. Despite its name, the vampire squid does not drink blood. It feeds on marine snow, the constant rain of organic particles that falls from above. Marine snow consists of dead plankton, fecal pellets, and other debris. It is the main food source for many deep-sea creatures. The vampire squid uses sticky filaments to capture this falling material. It rolls the particles into a ball and eats them at its leisure. The vampire squid can turn itself inside out, wrapping its webbed arms around its body. This exposes spines on the underside of its arms, deterring predators. It also produces bioluminescent mucus, creating a cloud of glowing particles. This confuses attackers and allows the squid to escape. The vampire squid is a living fossil, the last survivor of an ancient lineage. It has remained virtually unchanged for millions of years. We watch it drift away, a ghost from the distant past. The water grows darker as we descend. Soon, no light from the surface will reach us at all. We are entering the midnight zone. The midnight zone. The midnight zone extends from 1,000 meters to 4,000 meters below the surface. Here, there is no sunlight at all. The only light comes from the creatures themselves. Bioluminescence flickers in the darkness like stars in a night sky. The pressure at these depths is immense, hundreds of times greater than at the surface. The water is near freezing, hovering just above 0 degrees Celsius. Yet life persists here, adapted to conditions that would crush and freeze us. We drift through the darkness, surrounded by points of light. A hatchetfish swims past, its body thin and blade-like. Along its belly, rows of photophores glow with a soft blue light. This light matches the faint glow from above, making the fish invisible from below. Predators looking up see only the dim light of the surface, not the silhouette of prey. This is called counter-illumination, a common adaptation in the deep sea. The hatchetfish's eyes are large and point upward, watching for prey above. It feeds on small crustaceans and other fish. The hatchetfish moves on, its lights blinking in the darkness. A viperfish appears, its jaws bristling with needle-like teeth. Viperfish are fearsome predators, capable of swallowing prey more than half their own size. Their teeth are so long that they cannot close their mouths completely. Instead, the teeth curve back, preventing prey from escaping. A photophore on the viperfish's dorsal fin glows like a lure. Small fish, attracted to the light, swim close and are snatched up. The viperfish hangs motionless in the water, waiting for prey to approach. It can wait for hours, conserving energy in this food-scarce environment. When prey comes near, it strikes with lightning speed. We give the viperfish a wide berth, admiring its deadly beauty. A dragonfish glides past, its body long and serpentine. Dragonfish produce red light, which is invisible to most deep-sea creatures. This allows them to see prey without being seen themselves, It is like hunting with a spotlight that only they can see. The dragonfish's teeth are transparent, making them nearly invisible. Prey does not see the trap until it is too late. The dragonfish is a patient hunter, drifting through the darkness in search of food. We watch it disappear into the black water. A gulper eel undulates past, its mouth enormous compared to its body. Gulper eels can swallow prey much larger than themselves. Their jaws unhinge and their stomachs expand to accommodate large meals. In the deep sea, food is scarce and creatures must take advantage of every opportunity. The gulper eel's tail ends in a glowing organ which may attract prey, or it may serve as a decoy, distracting predators from the eel's vital organs. The eel moves slowly, conserving energy as it searches for food. Its small eyes suggest that it relies more on other senses than on sight. We watch it swim away, a strange and wonderful creature. A giant isopod rests on the sea floor, its segmented body curled slightly. Giant isopods are related to the pillbugs found in gardens on land. But these deep-sea relatives can grow to enormous sizes, up to 1/2 meter long. They are scavengers, feeding on the carcasses of whales and fish that sink from above. A whale fall, the body of a dead whale on the seafloor, can sustain a community for decades. Giant isopods can survive for years without food, slowing their metabolism to a crawl. When food arrives, they gorge themselves, storing energy for the lean times ahead. This isopod seems to be resting, waiting for the next meal to arrive. We leave it in peace and continue our journey. The seafloor here is covered with fine sediment, the accumulated remains of countless organisms. This sediment is called ooze, and it can be hundreds of meters thick. It builds up slowly, just a few centimeters every 1,000 years. Walking on it would be like walking on soft snow. Small creatures burrow through the ooze, feeding on the organic particles it contains. Worms, sea cucumbers, and brittle stars are common here. They process the sediment, extracting nutrients and recycling matter. A sea cucumber moves slowly across the bottom, its tentacles sweeping up sediment. Sea cucumbers are the earthworms of the deep sea, turning over the soil and keeping it healthy. Some species can expel their internal organs when threatened, then regenerate them later. This sea cucumber continues its slow journey, oblivious to our presence. A brittle star spreads its arms across the sediment, filter feeding on particles in the water. Brittle stars are related to sea stars, but are more delicate and mobile. Their arms can break off easily if grabbed by a predator, allowing the animal to escape. The lost arm will regenerate over time. This brittle star waves its arms gently, capturing food from the passing current. We drift over the sea floor, observing the quiet life of the deep. A tripod fish stands on the bottom, balanced on three elongated fins. These fins are stiff and can be used like stilts, raising the fish above the sediment. The tripod fish faces into the current, waiting for small prey to drift within reach. It can stand motionless for hours, conserving energy. Its eyes are small and nearly useless in the darkness. Instead, it relies on sensitive fins to detect vibrations in the water. When prey approaches, the tripod fish lunges forward, capturing it in its mouth. Then it returns to its standing position, waiting once more. We watch the tripod fish for a while, admiring its patience. Then we continue our descent, going deeper still. We are approaching the abyssal zone. The abyssal zone. The abyssal zone extends from 4,000 meters to 6,000 meters below the surface. This is one of the largest habitats on Earth, covering more than half the ocean floor. Yet it is one of the least explored, more mysterious than the surface of the moon. The pressure here is crushing, the temperature near freezing. Food is scarce, and life moves slowly. But life is here, adapted to conditions we can barely imagine. We drift over the abyssal plain, a vast flat expanse of sediment. The plain stretches for thousands of kilometers in every direction. It is one of the flattest places on Earth, interrupted only by occasional hills and valleys. The sediment here is incredibly fine, like the softest flour. It has accumulated over millions of years, layer upon layer. Buried within it are the remains of countless creatures, a record of life stretching back to the beginning of the ocean. A Dumbo octopus swims past, its ear-like fins flapping gently. Dumbo octopuses are named for the Disney elephant, whose large ears they resemble. They are among the deepest living octopuses, found at depths of up to 7,000 meters. Unlike their shallow water relatives, Dumbo octopuses do not have ink sacs. In the darkness of the deep, ink would be useless for escape. Instead, they rely on their ability to change color and texture to avoid predators. The Dumbo octopus moves gracefully, its fins rippling like wings. It feeds on worms, crustaceans, and other small creatures on the seafloor. We watch it glide away, a gentle presence in the darkness. A field of sea pens comes into view, their feathery bodies swaying in the current. Sea pens are colonial animals related to corals and anemones. Each sea pen consists of a central stalk with many polyps branching off. The polyps filter feed on particles in the water, capturing food with tiny tentacles. Sea pens can glow with bioluminescence when disturbed. The light may startle predators or attract other creatures to investigate. This field of sea pens stretches across the seafloor like an underwater garden. We drift over them, careful not to disturb their delicate forms. A grenadier fish swims past, its body tapering to a long, thin tail. Grenadiers are among the most common fish in the deep sea. They are scavengers and predators, feeding on whatever they can find. Their large eyes and sensitive lateral lines help them detect food in the darkness. Grenadiers can live for decades, growing slowly in the cold, nutrient-poor water. This one moves deliberately, searching for food along the bottom. It pauses to investigate something in the sediment, then moves on. We follow at a distance, observing its unhurried progress. A cusk eel burrows into the sediment, only its head visible. Cusk eels are not true eels, but are related to cod and haddock. They live in burrows on the seafloor, emerging to feed on small invertebrates. Some species of cusk eel have been found at the very bottom of the ocean. This one watches us with small, pale eyes, then retreats into its burrow. We continue across the abyssal plain, surrounded by silence and darkness. A whale fall comes into view, the skeleton of a great whale resting on the bottom. When a whale dies and sinks to the seafloor, it becomes an oasis of life. The carcass can sustain a community of creatures for decades. First, scavengers arrive to feed on the soft tissue. Hagfish, sleeper sharks, and giant isopods consume the flesh over months or years. Then, as the soft tissue is depleted, other creatures move in. Bone-eating worms called ossidacs bore into the skeleton, feeding on the fats within. These worms have no mouth or stomach. Instead, they use bacteria to digest the bone. The bacteria live inside the worms, breaking down the bone and sharing the nutrients. Mats of bacteria cover the bones, feeding on the oils that seep out. Clams and mussels cluster around the skeleton, their gills harboring bacteria that convert chemicals into food. This is a chemosynthetic community, powered not by sunlight, but by the chemicals released from the whale's remains. The whale fall before us is in its later stages. The bones are white and clean, picked over by countless creatures. But life still clings to the skeleton, extracting the last nutrients. Small crabs scuttle over the bones, searching for scraps. Worms wave their feathery gills, filtering particles from the water. The whale fall is a reminder that even in death, life continues. Energy flows from one creature to another, recycled endlessly. We pause here for a while, honoring the whale that provided this feast. Then we continue our journey, descending toward the deepest places on Earth. Hydrothermal vents. We approach a region where the seafloor is more rugged. Here, tectonic plates are pulling apart, and magma rises from below. The water grows warmer as we descend, heated by the Earth's interior. Ahead, we see plumes of black smoke rising from the seafloor. These are hydrothermal vents, cracks in the Earth's crust, where superheated water escapes. The water emerging from the vents can reach temperatures of over 400 degrees Celsius. It is kept liquid only by the immense pressure at these depths. The smoke is actually a cloud of mineral particles, precipitating as the hot water meets the cold. These minerals build up over time, forming tall chimneys called black smokers. The chimneys can grow several meters tall, constantly adding new layers. When they become too tall, they collapse and new ones begin to form. The chemicals in the vent water would be toxic to most life. Hydrogen sulfide, methane, and heavy metals pour from the vents. Yet life thrives here in one of the most extreme environments on Earth. Giant tube worms cluster around the vents, their red plumes waving in the current. These worms can grow to over 2 meters long, and they have no mouth or digestive system. Instead, they rely on bacteria living inside their bodies. The bacteria convert hydrogen sulfide into energy, feeding both themselves and the worm. This is chemosynthesis, the process that powers life at hydrothermal vents. The tube worm's red plumes are filled with blood, which carries hydrogen sulfide to the bacteria. The blood contains a special molecule that binds to the sulfide without being poisoned. This allows the worms to harvest the toxic chemical and deliver it safely to their symbionts. The tube worms sway gently in the current, a forest of red in the darkness. Vent crabs scuttle among the tube worms, feeding on bacteria and organic debris. These crabs are specially adapted to the vent environment. They can tolerate the high temperatures and toxic chemicals. Some species have hairy legs that harbor bacteria, providing an additional food source. Vent shrimp swarm around the chimneys, their bodies pale and eyeless. These shrimp have a special organ on their backs that can detect the faint glow of the vents. The vents emit a very dim light, invisible to human eyes, produced by the intense heat. The shrimp use this light to navigate, staying close to the vents without getting too close. If they venture into the hottest water, they will be cooked instantly. So they dance along the edge, feeding on bacteria and avoiding the deadly heat. Vent mussels cluster on the rocks, their shells dark and ridged. Like the tube worms, they harbor chemosynthetic bacteria in their gills. The bacteria provide them with food, and the mussels provide the bacteria with shelter. This partnership allows both to thrive in an environment that would otherwise be hostile. The vent community is a reminder that life can adapt to almost any conditions. Where there is energy, there is the potential for life. The vents were only discovered in 1977, and they revolutionized our understanding of biology. Before then, scientists believed that all life depended on sunlight. The discovery of chemosynthetic communities showed that life could exist anywhere there was chemical energy. This has profound implications for the search for life elsewhere in the universe. Moons like Europa and Enceladus have subsurface oceans that may harbor hydrothermal vents. If life can thrive at vents on Earth, perhaps it can thrive on other worlds as well. We linger near the vents, watching the strange and wonderful creatures that live here. The heat and chemicals create a harsh environment, yet life flourishes. The tube worms wave their plumes, the crabs scuttle and feed, the shrimp swarm in the darkness. It is a community unlike any other, powered by the earth itself. We leave the vents behind, continuing our journey through the deep. The water grows colder again as we move away from the heat. Ahead, the seafloor drops away into a vast chasm. We are approaching the Hadal Zone, the deepest part of the ocean. The Hadal Zone. The Hadal Zone begins at 6,000 meters and extends to the very bottom of the ocean. It is named for Hades, the Greek god of the underworld. Only a few places on Earth reach these depths, primarily the ocean trenches. Trenches form where one tectonic plate slides beneath another, creating deep gashes in the seafloor. The Mariana Trench in the Western Pacific is the deepest of all. Its lowest point, the Challenger Deep, reaches nearly 11,000 meters below the surface. The pressure at the bottom of the Mariana Trench is over 1,000 times greater than at the surface. If you were to descend there unprotected, you would be crushed instantly. Yet life exists even here, in the deepest darkness. We descend into a trench, the walls rising around us like cliffs. The rock is ancient and scarred, shaped by the immense forces of plate tectonics. Sediment has accumulated on the trench floor, soft and fine. It is rich in organic matter, washed down from the shallower waters above. This makes the trenches surprisingly productive compared to the barren, abyssal plains. A snailfish swims past, its body pale and gelatinous. Snailfish are among the deepest living fish, found at depths of over 8,000 meters. Their bodies are soft and watery, adapted to withstand the crushing pressure. They lack swim bladders, which would collapse at these depths. Instead, they are neutrally buoyant, drifting effortlessly through the water. The snailfish feeds on small crustaceans, which are abundant in the trench sediment. It moves slowly, conserving energy in this extreme environment. We watch it glide away, a ghost in the darkness. Amphipods swarm over the trench floor, their bodies pale and shrimp-like. Amphipods are crustaceans, related to the sandhoppers found on beaches. In the Hadal Zone, they are the dominant scavengers, feeding on any organic matter that sinks from above. Some Hadal amphipods have been found with wood and plant material in their guts. These fragments have traveled thousands of meters to reach the trench floor. The amphipods process this material, breaking it down and recycling the nutrients. They are the clean-up crew of the deep, ensuring that nothing goes to waste. A sea cucumber moves across the sediment, its body long and worm-like. Hadal sea cucumbers are specially adapted to the extreme pressure. They feed on the sediment, extracting nutrients from the organic particles it contains. Their bodies are soft and flexible, allowing them to move through the fine ooze. This sea cucumber continues its slow journey, oblivious to our presence. A hadal jellyfish drifts past, its bell pulsing gently. Jellyfish are among the most ancient animals on Earth, appearing in the fossil record over 500 million years ago. They have changed little since then, their simple bodies perfectly suited to their environment. This jellyfish glows with a soft blue light, bioluminescence flickering across its bell. It trails long tentacles behind it, waiting for prey to blunder into their grasp. The jellyfish moves with the current, patient and unhurried. We watch it drift away, a lantern in the darkness. The trench floor is not completely flat. There are ridges and valleys, formed by the movement of the Earth's crust. Occasionally, we see hydrothermal vents here too, seeping warm water into the cold. These vents support small communities of chemosynthetic life, but they are rarer here than in shallower waters, and the communities are smaller. We continue along the trench, observing the sparse but resilient life. A giant amoeba rests on the sediment, its body a single cell several centimeters across. These amoebas are called xenophyophories, and they are among the largest single-celled organisms on Earth. They build protective shells from sediment and debris, creating intricate structures. Xenophyophories are common in the deep sea, though they are rarely noticed. They feed on bacteria and organic particles, engulfing them with their cell membrane. This xenophyophore is motionless, its life processes too slow to observe. We leave it in peace and continue our journey. The trench walls rise around us, dark and imposing. It is hard to believe that we are still on Earth in this alien landscape. Yet this is part of our planet, as much as any forest or mountain. The deep sea is the largest habitat on Earth, and the least explored. We have mapped more of the moon's surface than the ocean floor. There are countless creatures here that have never been seen by human eyes. Each dive into the deep reveals new species, new adaptations, new wonders. We are privileged to witness this hidden world, even if only in imagination. The trench begins to shallow as we approach its end. We ascend slowly, leaving the hadal zone behind. The water grows slightly warmer, the pressure slightly less. We are returning to the midnight zone, then the twilight zone, then the sunlit waters above. But our journey is not yet over. There are still more wonders to see, more creatures to meet. The open ocean. We leave the seafloor behind and ascend into the open water. This is the pelagic zone, the vast realm between the surface and the bottom. It is the largest habitat on Earth, yet one of the emptiest. There is no shelter here, no place to hide. Creatures of the open ocean must be fast or camouflaged. or both. Many are silvery, reflecting light to blend with the water around them. Others are transparent, nearly invisible to predators and prey alike. We drift through the blue, watching for signs of life. A school of tuna passes in the distance, their bodies sleek and powerful. Tuna are among the fastest fish in the ocean, capable of speeds over 70 kilometers per hour. They are warm-blooded, a rare trait among fish. This allows them to maintain high body temperatures, powering their incredible speed. Tuna never stop swimming. They must keep moving to breathe. Water flows over their gills as they swim, extracting oxygen. If they stopped, they would suffocate. The tuna school disappears into the blue, hunting for smaller fish. A blue shark glides past, its body long and slender. Blue sharks are among the most wide-ranging sharks found in oceans around the world. They can travel thousands of kilometers in a single year, following currents and prey. This one moves with effortless grace, its tail sweeping side to side. Blue sharks are curious animals, often approaching divers to investigate. But they are not aggressive and pose little threat to humans. The shark circles us once, its dark eye watching, then swims away. A manta ray appears from the blue, its wingspan over 7 meters. Manta rays are the largest rays in the ocean, gentle giants that feed on plankton. They swim with their mouths open, filtering tiny organisms from the water. Despite their size, they are harmless to humans. Mantas are highly intelligent, with the largest brain of any fish. They can recognize themselves in mirrors, a sign of self-awareness. This manta glides past us, its wings rippling like sails. Small fish, called remoras, cling to its belly, hitching a ride. Remoras have a sucker on top of their heads, which they use to attach to larger animals. They feed on scraps from the manta's meals and parasites on its skin. The manta does not seem to mind their presence. It continues on its way, graceful and serene. We follow the manta for a while, enjoying its peaceful company. Then it descends into deeper water, and we let it go. A pod of dolphins appears, their bodies arcing through the water. Dolphins are mammals, like us, and must breathe air at the surface. But they are supremely adapted to life in the ocean. Their streamlined bodies and powerful tails allow them to swim at high speeds. They use echolocation to navigate and find prey, emitting clicks and listening for echoes. The dolphins are playful, leaping and spinning as they swim. They seem to take joy in movement, in the simple pleasure of being alive. One dolphin approaches us, curious and unafraid. It circles us, clicking and whistling, then rejoins its pod. The dolphins swim away, their clicks fading into the distance. We are alone again in the blue. A jellyfish drifts past, its bell pulsing gently. This is a moon jellyfish, common in oceans around the world. Its body is translucent, with 4 horseshoe-shaped gonads visible through the bell. Moon jellyfish have no brain, no heart, no blood. Yet they have existed for over 500 million years, outlasting countless other species. They are simple creatures, drifting with the currents, feeding on plankton. The jellyfish moves past us, trailing its delicate tentacles. We watch it go, a drifter like ourselves. A sunfish appears, its body flat and round like a dinner plate. Sunfish are the heaviest, bony fish in the ocean, weighing up to 2,000 kilograms. Despite their size, they feed mainly on jellyfish, which provide little nutrition. To sustain themselves, sunfish must eat enormous quantities. They often bask at the surface, lying on their sides to warm themselves. This behavior may help them digest their cold, gelatinous meals. The sunfish drifts past us, its small fins waving feebly. It seems an unlikely creature, yet it has thrived for millions of years. We watch it swim away, a gentle giant of the open sea. The water around us is filled with tiny particles drifting downward. This is marine snow, the constant rain of organic matter from above. It consists of dead plankton, fecal pellets, and other debris. Marine snow is the main food source for creatures in the deep sea. It falls slowly, taking weeks or months to reach the bottom. Along the way, it is consumed and recycled by countless organisms. We watch the particles drift past, a gentle snowfall in the blue. A whale shark emerges from the haze, its spotted body enormous. Whale sharks are the largest fish in the ocean, reaching lengths of over 12 meters. Despite their size, they are filter feeders, eating plankton and small fish. They swim with their mouths open, drawing in huge volumes of water. Specialized structures in their gills filter out the food, while the water passes through. Whale sharks are gentle and slow-moving, posing no threat to humans. This one swims past us, its great tail sweeping slowly. Small fish swim alongside it, sheltering in its shadow. The whale shark continues on its way, a peaceful giant. We watch it disappear into the blue, awed by its size and grace. The kelp forest. We ascend toward shallower waters, where sunlight once again penetrates. Ahead, we see tall, swaying forms rising from the seafloor. This is a kelp forest, one of the most productive ecosystems on Earth. Kelp are large brown algae, not true plants, but they perform photosynthesis like plants do. They can grow incredibly fast, up to 0.5 meter per day, under ideal conditions. The kelp before us reaches from the seafloor to the surface, over 30 meters tall. Sunlight filters through the fronds, creating a dappled green-gold light. The kelp sways gently in the current, like trees in a slow-motion breeze. We drift into the forest, surrounded by towering fronds. The water is cooler here, rich in nutrients upwelled from the deep. This nutrient richness supports the kelp's rapid growth. Small fish dart among the fronds, using the kelp for shelter. A Garibaldi, bright orange, defends its territory against intruders. Garibaldi are fiercely territorial, chasing away fish much larger than themselves. This one watches us warily, but does not approach. We are not a threat, and it returns to its patrol. A sea otter floats on its back at the surface, wrapped in kelp fronds. Sea otters anchor themselves in kelp to keep from drifting while they sleep. They are one of the few animals that use tools, cracking open shellfish with rocks. This otter holds a sea urchin on its chest, pounding it against a stone. The shell cracks, and the otter scoops out the soft interior. Sea otters must eat constantly to maintain their high metabolism. They consume up to a quarter of their body weight in food each day. Without otters, sea urchin populations can explode, overgrazing the kelp. This can transform a lush kelp forest into a barren urchin barren. Otters are a keystone species, essential to the health of the ecosystem. The otter finishes its meal and dives for another urchin. We watch it disappear into the kelp, then continue our journey. A harbour seal swims past, its body sleek and spotted. Seals are mammals, well adapted to life in the cold water. Their thick layer of blubber insulates them from the chill. This seal is hunting for fish among the kelp fronds. It moves with surprising agility, twisting and turning through the forest. The seal catches a fish and swallows it whole, then continues hunting. We drift deeper into the forest, marveling at the diversity of life. A leopard shark rests on the sandy bottom, its body patterned with dark spots. Leopard sharks are harmless to humans, feeding on crabs, clams, and small fish. They are common in kelp forests along the Pacific coast. This one lies motionless, conserving energy while it digests a meal. We pass by without disturbing it. A sheephead fish swims past, its body pink and black. Sheephead are protogynous hermaphrodites, meaning they start life as females and later become males. The largest, most dominant individuals are always male. This one is a large male, its forehead bulging and its teeth prominent. Sheephead feed on sea urchins, crabs, and other invertebrates. They play an important role in controlling urchin populations. The sheephead disappears into the kelp, searching for prey. A spiny lobster emerges from a crevice, its antennae waving. Spiny lobsters lack the large claws of their Atlantic relatives. Instead, they have long, spiny antennae that they use for defense. This lobster is nocturnal, venturing out at night to feed. During the day, it hides in crevices, protected from predators. The lobster retreats back into its shelter as we approach. We continue through the forest, ascending toward the surface. The light grows brighter, and the kelp fronds thin out. We emerge from the canopy into open water. Above us, the surface ripples with light. Below, the kelp forest stretches away, a green-gold cathedral. We pause here, floating between two worlds. The kelp forest is a place of abundance and beauty. It supports hundreds of species, from tiny invertebrates to great whales. Grey whales sometimes visit kelp forests to scrape barnacles from their skin. They rub against the kelp fronds, using them like scratching posts. We do not see any whales today, but their presence is felt. The forest is a living community, interconnected and interdependent. Each creature plays a role. Each contributes to the whole. We linger here for a while, enjoying the peace of the forest. Then we continue our journey, ascending toward the surface. The Coral Atoll. We travel now to warmer waters, where the sun beats down on a ring of coral. This is a coral atoll, a circular reef surrounding a shallow lagoon. Atolls form over millions of years as volcanic islands slowly sink beneath the waves. The coral grows upward, keeping pace with the sinking island. Eventually, the island disappears entirely, leaving only the ring of coral. The lagoon inside is shallow and calm, protected from the open ocean. We descend into the lagoon, entering a world of turquoise and white. The water is crystal clear, and the sandy bottom gleams below. Coral heads dot the lagoon floor, each a small ecosystem unto itself. We approach one of these coral heads, observing the life it supports. A damselfish guards a patch of algae, chasing away any intruders. Damselfish are farmers, cultivating algae gardens on the coral. They weed out unwanted species, promoting the growth of their preferred algae. This damselfish is aggressive, darting at fish much larger than itself. We give it a wide berth, respecting its territory. A group of convict tangs grazes nearby, their striped bodies moving in unison. Tangs are herbivores, feeding on algae that grow on the reef. They play an important role in keeping the coral clean and healthy. The tangs move on, searching for new patches of algae. A blacktip reef shark patrols the lagoon, its dorsal fin breaking the surface. Blacktip reef sharks are common in shallow tropical waters. They are relatively small, rarely exceeding 2 meters in length. Despite their fearsome appearance, they are shy and rarely approach humans. This shark is hunting for small fish in the shallows. It moves with effortless grace, its tail sweeping side to side. We watch it from a distance, admiring its streamlined form. The shark disappears around a coral head, and we continue our exploration. A giant clam rests on the lagoon floor, its mantle brilliantly coloured. Giant clams can grow to over 1 meter across and live for over 100 years. Their mantles contain symbiotic algae, which provide them with nutrition through photosynthesis. The clam's mantle is a brilliant blue-green, dotted with iridescent spots. It opens and closes slowly, filtering water and absorbing sunlight. We pause to admire its beauty, then move on. A school of butterfly fish flutters past, their yellow bodies bright against the blue. Butterfly fish are named for their delicate, wing-like fins. They feed on coral polyps, small invertebrates, and algae. Many species mate for life, swimming in pairs across the reef. This school is a group of juveniles, not yet paired. They move together for safety, their numbers confusing predators. The butterfly fish disappear over the reef, and we continue our journey. A sea snake glides through the water, its body banded with black and white. Sea snakes are highly venomous, but they are not aggressive toward humans. They use their venom to subdue fish, their primary prey. This sea snake is hunting, probing crevices in the coral with its snout. It moves with sinuous grace, perfectly adapted to life in the water. We watch from a safe distance, respecting its space. The snake finds a fish and strikes, then swallows it whole. It continues on its way, searching for more prey. We leave the lagoon and swim toward the outer reef. Here, the coral grows more densely, forming a wall that drops into deep water. The outer reef faces the open ocean, exposed to waves and currents. The corals here are hardy, able to withstand the constant motion. We drift along the reef wall, observing the life that clings to it. A Napoleon wrasse swims past, its body massive and its lips thick. Napoleon wrasses are the largest members of the wrasse family, reaching over 2 meters in length. They are named for the hump on their foreheads, which resembles Napoleon's hat. These fish are curious and often approach divers. This one circles us once, its large eyes watching, then swims away. A school of barracuda hovers in the water column, their bodies silver and sleek. Barracuda are formidable predators, capable of bursts of speed over 40 kilometers per hour. They hunt by ambush, lurking in the water and striking at passing fish. This school is resting, conserving energy for the hunt. They watch us with unblinking eyes, but make no move to approach. We continue along the reef wall, descending slowly. A manta ray glides past, its wings spanning several meters. We have seen mantas before, but each encounter is a gift. This one is feeding, its mouth open wide as it filters plankton from the water. It moves with effortless grace, a living kite in the blue. We watch it until it disappears into the distance. The reef wall drops away into darkness below. We have reached the edge of the atoll, where the shallow lagoon meets the deep ocean. Here, the water is cooler and the currents stronger. We pause at this boundary, looking down into the abyss. The deep ocean stretches below us, vast and mysterious. We have explored its depths, met its strange inhabitants. Now we return to the shallows, where light and warmth await. We ascend slowly, leaving the deep behind. The mangrove forest. We travel now to a place where land and sea meet. This is a mangrove forest, a tangle of trees growing in shallow, salty water. Mangroves are remarkable plants, able to tolerate conditions that would kill most trees. Their roots are exposed, arching above the water like stilts. These roots trap sediment and organic matter, building new land over time. Mangrove forests are nurseries for countless marine species. The tangled roots provide shelter for juvenile fish, crabs, and shrimp. Many species that live on coral reefs spend their early lives in mangroves. We drift among the roots, observing the life they shelter. A school of juvenile snappers hides among the roots, their bodies striped for camouflage. They will grow and eventually move to the reef, but for now, they are safe here. The snappers watch us warily, ready to dart into the roots if we approach too closely. We keep our distance, not wanting to disturb them. A mangrove crab clings to a root, its claws poised for defense. Mangrove crabs are omnivores, feeding on leaves, insects, and small animals. They play an important role in breaking down organic matter, recycling nutrients. This crab watches us with stalked eyes, then scuttles higher up the root. A mudskipper emerges from the water, climbing onto a root. Mudskippers are fish that can breathe air and walk on land. They use their pectoral fins like legs, pulling themselves across the mud. Their skin must stay moist, so they never venture far from water. This mudskipper basks in the sun, its bulging eyes scanning for insects. It is a strange sight, a fish out of water, yet perfectly at home. The mudskipper spots an insect and lunges, catching it in its mouth. Then it slips back into the water, disappearing among the roots. An archerfish hovers near the surface, watching the branches above. Archerfish are famous for their ability to shoot jets of water at insects. They knock their prey from overhanging branches, then snatch it from the surface. This archerfish is hunting, its eyes fixed on a beetle above. It spits a jet of water with remarkable accuracy. The beetle falls, and the fish darts forward to claim its prize. We watch, impressed by this display of skill. A juvenile barramundi swims past, its body silver and elongated. Barramundi are prized game fish, growing to impressive sizes. They spend their early lives in mangroves, feeding on small fish and crustaceans. As they mature, they move to rivers and estuaries. This one is still small, only a few centimeters long. It hides among the roots, avoiding predators. A saltwater crocodile rests on a mud bank, its body motionless. Saltwater crocodiles are the largest living reptiles, reaching lengths of over 6 meters. They are apex predators, capable of taking prey as large as water buffalo. But this one is resting, digesting a recent meal. Its eyes are half closed, and it shows no interest in us. We give it a wide berth, respecting its power. The crocodile remains motionless as we pass. We continue through the mangrove forest, marveling at its diversity. A fiddler crab waves its oversized claw, signaling to potential mates. Male fiddler crabs have one claw much larger than the other. They wave this claw in elaborate displays, attracting females. The larger the claw, the more attractive the male. This fiddler crab waves energetically, hoping to impress. A female watches from nearby, evaluating his display. We leave them to their courtship and continue on. A great blue heron stands in the shallows, its long neck poised to strike. Herons are patient hunters, waiting motionless for fish to come within range. When prey approaches, they strike with lightning speed. This heron watches the water intently, ignoring our presence. It is focused entirely on the hunt. We drift past, not wanting to disturb its concentration. The mangrove forest is a place of transition, where fresh water meets salt. It is a buffer zone, protecting coastlines from storms and erosion. The roots absorb wave energy, reducing the impact of hurricanes. Mangroves also filter pollutants, improving water quality. They are vital ecosystems, yet they are threatened by development and climate change. We appreciate their importance as we drift through their tangled embrace. The water grows clearer as we leave the mangroves behind. Ahead, we see open water and sandy shallows. We are approaching a seagrass meadow, another vital nursery habitat. Return to the seagrass meadow. We have visited seagrass meadows before, but each one is unique. This meadow stretches across the sandy bottom, its blades swaying gently. The water is shallow here, only a few meters deep. Sunlight penetrates easily, nourishing the grass. A dugong grazes in the meadow, its body round and grey. Dugongs are relatives of manatees, found in the warm waters of the Indo-Pacific. They are herbivores, feeding exclusively on seagrass. A single dugong can eat up to 40 kilograms of grass per day. This one moves slowly, its flippers pushing it along the bottom. It tears up mouthfuls of grass, roots and all. Dugongs are sometimes called sea cows, and the comparison is apt. They are gentle, slow-moving creatures, content to graze peacefully. We watch the dugong for a while, enjoying its calm presence. A remora clings to its belly, hitching a ride. The remora will feed on scraps from the dugong's meals. The dugong does not seem to notice or mind. A green sea turtle joins the dugong in the meadow. We have seen green turtles before, but this one is particularly large. It may be over 100 years old, a true elder of the sea. The turtle grazes alongside the dugong, both feeding peacefully. There is no competition between them. Plenty of grass for all. We drift over the meadow, watching the grazers at work. A school of juvenile parrotfish swims past, their colours not yet fully developed. They will grow and move to the reef, where they will scrape algae from coral. But for now, They shelter in the grass, safe from predators. A cuttlefish hovers over the meadow, its body pulsing with colour. Cuttlefish are masters of camouflage, able to change their appearance in an instant. This one shifts from brown to green to spotted, matching the grass below. It is hunting for small crabs and shrimp. The cuttlefish's eyes are remarkable, able to see polarized light. This gives it an advantage in detecting prey. It spots a shrimp and strikes, its tentacles shooting out to capture it. The shrimp disappears into the cuttlefish's beak-like mouth. The cuttlefish continues hunting, moving slowly over the grass. A spotted eagle ray glides over the meadow, searching for buried prey. We have seen eagle rays before, but their grace never fails to impress. This one pauses over a patch of sand and begins to dig. Its wings flap, creating a cloud of sediment. It is searching for clams or crabs buried below. The ray finds its prey and crushes it with its flat teeth. Then it moves on, searching for more. We leave the meadow behind and continue our journey. The water deepens as we move away from shore. Ahead, we see the dark outline of a shipwreck on the bottom. The shipwreck. The shipwreck rises from the sandy bottom, encrusted with life. It is an old vessel, sunk decades ago, now transformed into an artificial reef. Coral and sponges cover every surface, creating a riot of colour. Fish swarm around the wreck, using it for shelter. We approach slowly, observing the life that has claimed this vessel. A school of glassy sweepers fills the interior, their bodies translucent. They hover in the shadows, thousands of individuals moving as one. When we approach, they part around us, then reform behind. It is like swimming through a living curtain. The sweepers feed on plankton at night, hiding in the wreck by day. We continue through the wreck, exploring its corridors and chambers. A grouper rests in a doorway, its body massive and mottled. Groupers are ambush predators, waiting for prey to come within striking distance. This one watches us calmly, unafraid. It has grown large and confident in its territory. We pass by without disturbing it. A lionfish hovers near the ceiling, its fins spread like fans. Lionfish are beautiful but invasive in many parts of the world. Their venomous spines deter predators, and they have few natural enemies. In their native Indo-Pacific, they are kept in check by larger predators. But in the Atlantic and Caribbean, they have no such controls. They consume vast numbers of native fish, disrupting ecosystems. This lionfish is in its native range, a natural part of the community. We admire its beauty from a safe distance. A moray eel peers from a porthole, its mouth opening and closing. We have seen morays before, but each encounter is memorable. This one is a giant moray, one of the largest species. It can reach lengths of over 3 meters. The eel watches us with small, intelligent eyes. We move on, leaving it to its den. A school of batfish circles the wreck, their bodies flat and silver. Batfish are curious creatures, often approaching divers. They seem to enjoy the company, following swimmers around the reef. This school accompanies us for a while, then veers away. We emerge from the wreck into open water. The sun is lower now, casting long shadows across the bottom. The day is drawing to a close, and night creatures are beginning to stir. We will stay a little longer to witness the changing of the guard. Twilight on the reef. As the sun sets, the reef transforms. Daytime fish retreat to their sleeping places, hiding in crevices and coral. Night creatures emerge, beginning their nocturnal activities. A parrotfish finds a sheltered spot and begins to produce its mucus cocoon. The cocoon will protect it from predators while it sleeps. It takes about half an hour to complete, and the fish will rest inside until dawn. A Spanish dancer nudibranch emerges from hiding, its body bright red. Nudibranchs are sea slugs related to snails but lacking shells. They are often brilliantly coloured, warning predators of their toxicity. The Spanish dancer gets its name from its swimming motion. When disturbed, it undulates through the water like a flamenco dancer. This one moves slowly across the reef, feeding on sponges. A basket star unfurls its arms, preparing to feed. Basket stars are related to brittle stars, but their arms branch repeatedly. They spread these arms into the current, capturing plankton and small organisms. The basket star looks like a living fractal, endlessly complex. We watch it feed, mesmerized by its intricate form. An octopus emerges from its den, beginning its nightly hunt. Octopuses are primarily nocturnal, hunting when their prey is most vulnerable. This one flows over the reef, its body changing colour constantly. It probes crevices with its arms, searching for sleeping fish and crabs. The octopus is intelligent and curious, a master of its environment. We watch it hunt, admiring its skill. A reef shark glides past, more active now than during the day. Many sharks are crepuscular, most active at dawn and dusk. This one is hunting, its senses attuned to the movements of prey. It moves with purpose, scanning the reef for opportunities. We give it space, watching from a distance. The shark disappears into the gathering darkness. A bioluminescent ostracod flashes in the water, a tiny point of blue light. Ostracods are small crustaceans, sometimes called seed shrimp. Some species produce bioluminescence to attract mates or confuse predators. The flash is brief but brilliant, a spark in the darkness. More flashes appear, scattered across the reef. It is like watching fireflies underwater. A squid hovers nearby, its body pulsing with colour. Squid are active hunters, feeding on fish and crustaceans. This one is watching for prey, its large eyes scanning the water. It moves with quick, darting motions, ready to strike. The squid spots a small fish and attacks. Its tentacles shoot out, capturing the fish in an instant. The squid retreats into the darkness to feed. The reef is alive with activity, a different world from the day. Creatures that were hidden now roam freely. Creatures that were active now sleep, vulnerable and still. The cycle continues, as it has for millions of years. Day and night, predator and prey, life and death. All are part of the great web of the ocean. We drift through the darkness, surrounded by points of light. Bioluminescence flickers everywhere, a galaxy of living stars. It is a magical sight, a reminder of the wonders that surround us. We are privileged to witness this hidden world. The deep night. The night deepens and we descend once more. The surface is far above a distant memory. We are in the midnight zone again, surrounded by darkness. But the darkness is not empty. Life persists here, adapted to the eternal night. A firefly squid drifts past, its body glowing with blue light. Firefly squid are found in the deep waters of the Pacific. They produce bioluminescence to attract mates and confuse predators. In some regions, they gather in vast numbers to spawn. The sea glows with their light, a spectacular display. This squid is alone, but its light is still beautiful. We watch it drift away, a lantern in the darkness. A deep-sea anglerfish hovers nearby, its lure glowing faintly. Anglerfish are among the most famous deep-sea creatures. The females have a bioluminescent lure that attracts prey. When a fish comes to investigate, the anglerfish strikes. Its jaws can expand to swallow prey larger than itself. The males are much smaller and lack lures. They find females by scent and attach permanently, becoming parasites. The male's body fuses with the female's, and he provides sperm while she provides nutrients. It is a strange arrangement, but effective in the vast, empty deep. This anglerfish is a female, her lure waving gently. We watch from a distance, not wanting to disturb her hunt. A giant oarfish undulates through the water, its body ribbon-like. Oarfish are the longest bony fish in the ocean, reaching lengths of over 10 meters. They are rarely seen, living in deep water and coming to the surface only when sick or dying. Legends of sea serpents may have been inspired by oarfish sightings. This one moves with slow, sinuous grace. Its body shimmers with silver, and its dorsal fin ripples like a red crest. The oarfish is a filter feeder, eating plankton and small crustaceans. Despite its size, it is harmless to humans. We watch it pass, awed by its length and beauty. The oarfish disappears into the darkness, a ghost of the deep. A sperm whale descends past us, diving toward the abyss. Sperm whales are the deepest diving mammals, reaching depths of over 2,000 meters. They hunt giant squid in the darkness, using echolocation to find their prey. This whale is on a hunt. its body streamlined for the dive. It will hold its breath for over an hour, searching for squid. The whale's clicks echo through the water, a sonar pulse probing the deep. We cannot follow where it goes, but we imagine its journey. Down into the darkness where giant squid lurk. A battle in the black, predator and prey. The whale will return to the surface, scarred but fed. We watch it descend until it disappears from view. The deep ocean is a place of wonders hidden from human eyes. Creatures live here that we have never seen, never named. Each expedition reveals new species, new adaptations. The ocean is the last great frontier on Earth. We are only beginning to understand its mysteries. Returning to the light. We begin our ascent, leaving the darkness behind. The water grows lighter, degree by degree. First, a faint blue glow, then brighter still. We are returning to the sunlit world. The twilight zone passes, then the upper waters. Fish appear around us, silver and quick. The surface ripples above, a ceiling of light. We break through into air and warmth. The sun is rising, painting the sky with gold and pink. The ocean stretches around us, endless and calm. Seabirds wheel overhead, calling to each other. A pod of dolphins surfaces nearby, their breath misting in the cool air. They are heading out to hunt, full of energy and purpose. We watch them go, grateful for their company. A sea turtle surfaces to breathe, its ancient eyes blinking in the light. It has been diving all night, feeding on jellyfish in the deep. Now it rests at the surface, warming itself in the sun. The turtle watches us calmly, then dives again. We float here for a while, enjoying the peace. The ocean is vast and mysterious, but it is also home. Countless creatures live their lives beneath the waves. They eat and sleep, hunt and hide, mate and die. Their world is different from ours, but no less real. We have been privileged to visit, to observe, to wonder. Reflection. The ocean covers more than 70% of our planet. It is the source of all life on Earth, the cradle of evolution. The first cells appeared in the sea billions of years ago. From those simple beginnings, all the diversity of life emerged. Fish and whales, corals and jellyfish, crabs and octopuses. Each is a marvel of adaptation, shaped by millions of years of evolution. The ocean is also vital to our own survival. It produces much of the oxygen we breathe. It absorbs carbon dioxide, moderating our climate. It provides food for billions of people around the world. Yet we have only begun to explore its depths. The deep ocean is less known than the surface of the moon. New species are discovered on every expedition. Entire ecosystems remain hidden, waiting to be found. The ocean is a world of mystery and wonder. It invites us to explore, to learn, to appreciate. And in exploring, we find not only knowledge, but also peace. The rhythms of the sea are ancient and soothing. the rise and fall of tides, the sway of kelp, the drift of plankton. These rhythms have continued for billions of years. They will continue long after we are gone. There is comfort in this continuity, this endless cycle. We are part of something larger than ourselves. We are connected to all life on Earth through water and air and time. The ocean reminds us of this connection. It humbles us with its vastness, amazes us with its diversity, and it soothes us with its gentle, eternal motion. Gentle conclusion. Our journey is drawing to a close now. We have travelled far, from sunlit shallows to the deepest trenches. We have met creatures strange and beautiful, fierce and gentle. We have witnessed the endless cycle of life and death, predator and prey. And through it all, we have drifted peacefully, observers in a world not our own. Now it is time to rest. Let the images we have seen fade gently from your mind. Let the names and facts drift away like marine snow falling through the water. There is nothing you need to remember, nothing you need to hold on to. Just let yourself float, weightless and calm. The ocean is all around you, vast and peaceful. The water supports you, warm and gentle. You are safe here, drifting on invisible currents. The creatures of the deep go about their lives, unconcerned with our presence. The coral grows slowly, adding layer upon layer. The kelp sways in the current, a forest in slow motion. The whales sing their songs, echoing through the blue, and you drift among them, a peaceful visitor. Your breathing is slow and easy, like the swell of waves. Your body is heavy and relaxed, sinking into comfort. Your mind is quiet, free from worry and thought. There is only the blue, the endless blue, and the gentle motion of the sea. Let yourself drift deeper now into restful sleep. The ocean will carry you as it has carried life for billions of years. You are part of this great web, connected to all living things. And in this connection, there is peace. Sleep now and dream of the sea. Dream of sunlit shallows and dark abysses. Dream of coral gardens and kelp forests. Dream of creatures strange and wonderful, going about their ancient lives. And when you wake, you will carry a piece of the ocean with you, a sense of wonder, a feeling of peace. The sea is always there, waiting to welcome you back. But for now, sleep. Let the currents carry you into dreams. Let the blue surround you, soft and warm. You are safe, you are calm, you are at peace. Sleep. The ocean holds you gently. The creatures of the deep swim in their endless dance, and you drift among them, peaceful and still. There is nothing to do, nothing to think, nothing to worry about. Only rest, only peace, only sleep. The journey continues, even as you sleep. The ocean never stops, never rests. But you can rest now, carried by its gentle currents. Tomorrow, there will be new wonders to discover, new creatures to meet, new depths to explore. But that is for tomorrow. Tonight, there is only sleep. Deep, restful, peaceful sleep. Let it come to you now, as naturally as the tide. Let your eyes grow heavy, your body grow still. Let your thoughts dissolve like foam on the waves. There is only the blue, the endless blue, and the soft, gentle motion of the sea. Sleep now. The ocean is your cradle, rocking you gently. The creatures of the deep are your companions, swimming silently beside you. And the stars above the water shine down, distant and peaceful. All is well, all is calm, all is at peace. Sleep. The final drift. The water grows warmer around you, soft as silk. You are floating now, weightless and free. The surface is far above, a distant shimmer of light. But you are not afraid. You are at home here, in the blue. The creatures of the deep pass by, going about their lives. A jellyfish drifts past, its bell pulsing gently. A school of fish swims by, their scales catching the light. A sea turtle glides overhead, its flippers moving in slow, graceful strokes. They do not notice you, or if they do, they are not disturbed. You are part of this world now, a peaceful presence in the blue. The current carries you gently, like a leaf on a stream. You do not need to swim, do not need to move. Just drift and let the ocean carry you. Your breathing is slow and deep, in rhythm with the waves. Your heart beats steadily, calm and strong. Your muscles are relaxed, your mind is quiet. There is nothing to do, nothing to think about. Only the blue, the endless blue, and the gentle, soothing motion of the sea. A whale song echoes in the distance, low and haunting. It is a sound that has filled the oceans for millions of years. Whales have been singing since before humans existed. They will be singing long after we are gone. The song is a reminder of the vastness of time, the continuity of life. It is comforting in its way. We are part of something larger, something ancient and enduring. The ocean connects us to all life on Earth. We are made of the same elements, shaped by the same forces. The salt in our blood is the salt of the sea. The water in our cells is the water of the ocean. We are, in a very real sense, children of the sea, and the sea welcomes us home. Sleep now, child of the ocean. Let the waves rock you gently. Let the currents carry you into dreams. The creatures of the deep will watch over you. The coral will grow, the kelp will sway, and when you wake, the ocean will still be there, vast and mysterious, full of wonders, waiting to welcome you back. But for now, sleep. Deep, restful, peaceful sleep. The blue surrounds you, soft and warm. The motion of the sea soothes you, gentle and constant. You are safe, you are calm, you are at peace. Sleep. Let the ocean hold you. Let the darkness embrace you. Let the silence fill you. There is nothing to fear, nothing to worry about. Only rest, only peace, only sleep. The journey is over, but the ocean remains. It will be here tomorrow and the day after and forever. The creatures of the deep will continue their lives. The coral will grow, the tides will rise and fall, and you will rest, carried by the gentle currents. Sleep now. The ocean is your bed, soft and vast. The creatures of the deep are your guardians, silent and watchful, and the stars shine down through the water, distant and peaceful. All is well, all is calm, all is at peace. Sleep. Final moments. The blue fades now, growing softer, dimmer, not into darkness but into something gentler. A warmth surrounds you, a feeling of safety. You are drifting into sleep, deep and restful. The images of the ocean fade, but the feeling remains. The peace, the calm, the sense of wonder. These will stay with you, even in sleep. And when you dream, perhaps you will dream of the sea, of sunlit shallows and dark abysses, of creatures strange and beautiful, of the endless blue stretching forever. But for now, there are no images, no thoughts, only rest, only peace, only sleep. Your breathing is slow and steady, your body is heavy and still, your mind is quiet, empty, at peace. The ocean has given you its gift, the gift of calm, of wonder, of rest. Accept it now and let yourself sleep. The creatures of the deep swim on in their endless dance. The coral grows, the kelp sways, the tides rise and fall, and you rest, carried by the gentle currents of sleep. There is nothing more to do, nothing more to think, only sleep, deep and peaceful. Let it come to you now as naturally as breathing. Let it fill you, surround you, embrace you. You are safe, you are calm, you are at peace. Sleep. The ocean holds you gently. The universe turns slowly, and you rest at last in perfect peace. Sleep. 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 End. Thank you for joining us at Deep Sleep Studios. May your dreams be peaceful and may you wake refreshed, carrying with you the wonder of the deep blue sea. Word count, approximately 20,400 words. Deep Sleep Studios presents Beneath the Endless Blue. Part 2. Continuing our journey. Gentle transition, soft ambient tones. And so our journey continues, dear traveller, as we drift ever deeper into the embrace of the world's great oceans. The waters around us have grown quieter now, the light filtering down in softer, more diffused rays that paint everything in shades of gentle blue and peaceful green. We have explored the coral gardens and met the creatures who call those rainbow cities home. We have floated through kelp forests and watched the dance of sunlight on swaying fronds. Now, let us venture further still, into realms less travelled, where new wonders await our wondering eyes. Feel your body settling more deeply into comfort. Each breath you take draws you further into relaxation, further into this peaceful underwater world where time moves slowly and every moment holds its own quiet magic. Chapter 7. The Seagrass Meadows. Our journey carries us now towards shallower waters, where the seafloor rises gently to meet the light. Here, spreading before us like an endless green carpet, lie the seagrass meadows, one of the ocean's most peaceful and nurturing environments. These underwater prairies sway in gentle unison, responding to currents so soft they feel like whispered secrets. The grass blades, long and ribbon-like, move with a hypnotic rhythm that seems designed specifically to soothe the watching eye. Back and forth, in patterns that repeat endlessly yet never grow tiresome. Seagrass is not actually grass at all, but a flowering plant that long ago returned to the sea from the land. It is one of the few plants in the ocean that produces flowers and seeds, tiny blooms that appear in their season and release their gifts to the currents. Imagine that. Flowers blooming beneath the waves, in meadows that no land-dwelling eye may ever see. These meadows are among the most productive ecosystems on Earth, producing oxygen and capturing carbon with remarkable efficiency. A single acre of seagrass can generate more oxygen than an acre of rainforest, all while providing food and shelter for countless creatures. As you breathe deeply now, imagine that some of the oxygen filling your lungs began its journey in meadows just like this one. Let us settle here for a time, hovering just above the grass tips, watching the peaceful community that calls this place home. The dugong's gentle grazing, a large, grey shape, moves slowly through the meadow ahead of us. A dugong, sometimes called a sea cow, and one of the most gentle creatures in all the ocean. This peaceful giant grazes on the seagrass with the unhurried contentment of a cow in a summer pasture, moving through its underwater world with serene purpose. The dugong's body is rounded and smooth, designed for slow, easy movement through shallow waters. Its tail is fluked like a whale's, and its front flippers are paddle-shaped, perfect for steering and for helping to bring grass to its mouth. Its face, with its downturned snout and small eyes, wears an expression of perpetual calm that seems to reflect its peaceful nature. Watch how the dugong feeds. It uses its large, flexible upper lip to grasp bunches of seagrass, pulling them up by the roots and chewing slowly, thoroughly, extracting every bit of nourishment from its vegetarian meal. It leaves trails through the meadow where it has grazed, paths that will quickly fill in as new grass grows to replace what was eaten. Dugongs are ancient creatures, having existed in forms very similar to their current shape for over 50 million years. They are thought to be the inspiration for mermaid legends, their shapes glimpsed through tropical waters by sailors who had been too long at sea. Perhaps in the shimmer of sunlight through shallow waves, a dugong silhouette might indeed suggest something magical and mysterious. These gentle giants are social creatures, often found in small groups that move together through the seagrass meadows. They communicate with chirps and squeaks, sounds that travel through the water in soft conversations we can only imagine understanding. What do they say to one another, these peaceful grazers? Perhaps they share news of the sweetest grass patches, or simply offer the comfort of companionship in the vast ocean. A mother dugong passes close to us now, her calf swimming beside her. The baby stays close to its mother's side, nursing on rich milk, while also beginning to learn the art of grazing. For the first few years of its life, this young dugong will rarely leave its mother's presence, learning from her the locations of the best feeding grounds, the patterns of the tides, the rhythms of life in the seagrass meadows. The dugong's world moves at a pace that seems perfectly suited to relaxation. There is no hurry here, no urgency, just the slow progression from one grass patch to another, the gentle rhythm of feeding and resting, the peaceful passage of days marked by tides and seasons rather than clocks and calendars. Worry. Among the seagrass blades, we discover creatures so delicate and unusual that they seem to belong more to dreams than to waking reality. Seahorses cling to the grass stems with their curled tails, their bodies vertical in the water, their horse-like heads turning this way and that as they survey their small kingdoms. The seahorse is perhaps the ocean's most whimsical creation. Its body is covered in bony plates rather than scales, giving it an armored appearance that belies its gentle nature. Its snout is elongated into a tube, perfect for sucking up tiny crustaceans and plankton with a quick snap of its head. Its eyes move independently of each other, allowing it to watch for food and danger simultaneously. These creatures swim upright, propelled by a small dorsal fin that beats so rapidly it appears as a blur, up to 35 times per second. It is not the most efficient form of locomotion, and seahorses are among the slowest fish in the ocean. But efficiency is not their goal. They are designed for a life of patient waiting, of holding onto their chosen spot and letting the food come to them. The seahorse's tail is prehensile, able to grip and hold with remarkable strength. Watch as this one wraps its tail around a seagrass blade, anchoring itself against the gentle current. It will stay here for hours, perhaps days, feeding when opportunity presents itself, resting when it does not, living a life of extraordinary patience. Seahorses mate for life, and their courtship is one of the ocean's most tender rituals. Each morning a bonded pair will meet and perform a greeting dance, changing colors, swimming side by side, intertwining their tails in a gesture that seems to speak of affection and commitment. This daily ritual strengthens their bond and synchronizes their reproductive cycles. And here is the seahorse's most remarkable secret. It is the male who becomes pregnant. The female deposits her eggs into a special pouch on the male's belly, where he fertilizes and carries them until they are ready to be born. When the time comes, he will release dozens or even hundreds of tiny, fully formed seahorses into the water, each one a perfect miniature of its parents. A pregnant male seahorse rests nearby, his pouch swollen with developing young. He holds onto his seagrass anchor with patient dignity, waiting for the moment when he will bring new life into the meadow. There is something deeply moving about this reversal of roles, this sharing of the burden and blessing of parenthood. The seagrass meadow is full of seahorses if you know where to look. Their camouflage is excellent, their bodies often matching the color and texture of the grass around them. Some species have developed elaborate frills and appendages that make them look like nothing so much as floating pieces of seaweed. This is the leafy sea dragon's strategy, to become so perfectly disguised that predators look right past without seeing. The pipefish family. Cousins to the seahorses, pipefish swim through the seagrass in their own unique way. Their bodies are long and thin, like living needles, perfectly designed to slip between the grass blades without disturbing them. They swim horizontally, unlike their upright relatives, but share the same gentle disposition and patient hunting style. Pipefish come in an astonishing variety of forms. Some are short and stout, others long and impossibly thin. Some are brightly coloured, while others are camouflaged in greens and browns that match their seagrass home. All share the same tubular snout, the same bony-plated body, the same air of delicate elegance. Like seahorses, male pipefish carry the developing eggs. Though their pouches are less enclosed, the eggs often visible along the male's belly or tail. This shared parenting strategy seems to work well for these gentle creatures, allowing both parents to contribute to the survival of their offspring. A group of pipefish moves through the meadow now, their bodies undulating in a slow, mesmerizing wave. They seem to flow through the water like living ribbons, their movements so smooth and continuous that watching them induces a deep sense of calm. There is no hurry in their world, no urgency, just the gentle progression through their green domain, the patient search for tiny prey, the peaceful rhythm of life in the seagrass. Green sea turtles at rest. The seagrass meadow serves as a feeding ground for one of the ocean's most beloved creatures, the green sea turtle. Despite its name, the green sea turtle's shell is not particularly green. The name comes from the color of its fat, which is tinted by the seagrass and algae it eats. These gentle reptiles are among the few marine animals that are truly herbivorous as adults, grazing on seagrass much like the dugongs we met earlier. A large female turtle rests on the sandy bottom nearby, her flippers tucked close to her shell, her eyes half closed in what appears to be peaceful contemplation. Green sea turtles can hold their breath for hours when resting, their metabolism slowing to a crawl, their need for oxygen reduced to almost nothing. In this state of rest, they seem to embody the very essence of tranquility. When she moves, the turtle's motion is graceful and unhurried. Her front flippers sweep through the water in long, slow strokes that propel her forward with surprising efficiency. She's been swimming these waters for decades, perhaps half a century or more, returning to the same feeding grounds year after year, following patterns learned from her ancestors. Green sea turtles are remarkable navigators, able to cross thousands of miles of open ocean to return to the beaches where they were born. Scientists believe they use the Earth's magnetic field as a guide, sensing the planet's invisible lines of force and following them like a map written in magnetism. Imagine carrying such a map inside yourself, always knowing where home lies, no matter how far you wander. The turtle begins to graze, lowering her head to the seagrass and tearing off mouthfuls with her serrated beak. She chews slowly, methodically, extracting nourishment from the green blades. Her grazing helps keep the seagrass healthy, preventing any one area from becoming overgrown, encouraging new growth that benefits the entire meadow community. As she feeds, small fish gather around her, picking at the algae that grows on her shell. This is a mutually beneficial arrangement. The fish get a meal, and the turtle gets a cleaning. Such partnerships are common in the ocean, creatures helping one another in ways that benefit all involved. The turtle's shell is a work of natural art, its surface patterned with overlapping scales in shades of brown and olive and gold. Each scale, called a scute, grows throughout the turtle's life, adding layers like the rings of a tree. By examining these scutes, scientists can learn something of the turtle's history, the challenges she's faced, the journeys she has undertaken. Chapter 8. The Sandy Plains. Leaving the seagrass meadow behind, we drift out over a vast expanse of sandy sea floor that stretches toward the horizon like an underwater desert. At first glance, this landscape might seem empty and lifeless, but look more closely, and you will discover a world of hidden wonders. The sand itself is beautiful when examined closely. Millions of tiny grains, each one a fragment of shell or coral or stone, worn smooth by countless years of wave action. In the gentle light filtering down from above, the sand seems to glow with a soft, warm radiance that speaks of sun-warmed beaches and peaceful summer days. This seemingly barren plain is actually home to a remarkable community of creatures, most of whom have mastered the art of concealment. They hide beneath the sand, They camouflage themselves to match it. They move through it like ghosts. Their world is one of patience and stealth, of waiting and watching, of lives lived largely out of sight. Let us explore this hidden realm together, discovering the secrets buried beneath the seemingly empty seafloor. The Flatfish Masters. A slight disturbance in the sand ahead reveals one of the ocean's most remarkable adaptations. A flounder lies almost perfectly hidden, only its eyes visible above the sandy surface. This fish has evolved to spend its life lying flat on the seafloor, and its body has transformed in extraordinary ways to make this possible. When a flounder is born, it looks like any other fish, swimming upright through the water with an eye on each side of its head. But as it grows, something remarkable happens. One eye begins to migrate across the fish's head, moving slowly until both eyes are on the same side. The fish then settles onto the seafloor, lying on its blind side, with both eyes looking upward. This transformation seems almost magical, a reshaping of the body so complete that the adult fish bears little resemblance to its juvenile form. The side that faces upward develops coloration that matches the seafloor, while the side that faces down remains pale and featureless. The result is a fish so well camouflaged that it can lie in plain sight and remain virtually invisible. Watch the flounder's eyes as they scan the water above. They move independently, swiveling to track movement, always alert for both prey and predators. When a small fish or shrimp passes overhead, the flounder will explode upward from its hiding place with startling speed, capturing its meal before settling back to the sand and disappearing once more. The flounder's patience is remarkable. It will lie motionless for hours, waiting for the right moment to strike. In a world where energy is precious and meals are uncertain, this strategy of patient waiting makes perfect sense. Why chase food when you can let food come to you? Nearby, a soul has buried itself even more completely, only the faintest outline visible beneath a thin layer of sand. Souls are related to flounders, sharing their flat bodies and migrated eyes, but they have taken concealment to an even greater extreme. Some species can change their coloration to match different seafloor types, adjusting their patterns within minutes to maintain their invisibility. The Garden of Eels. One of the sandy plain's most enchanting sights awaits us ahead. A garden eel colony where hundreds of slender creatures sway in the current like living flowers. These remarkable fish spend their entire lives partially buried in the sand, their bodies extending upward to feed on passing plankton, their tails anchored in burrows they never leave. Each garden eel has constructed its own burrow, a tube of mucus-coated sand that extends deep into the seafloor. The eel's body is perfectly designed for this lifestyle, long and thin, with a pointed tail that helps it dig and anchor itself. Its eyes are large, the better to spot the tiny organisms that drift past on the current. The colony sways in unison. Hundreds of eels moving together in response to the water's flow. When the current shifts, they shift with it. When a shadow passes overhead, a potential predator, they retract into their burrows with remarkable speed. The entire garden disappearing in an instant, leaving only empty sand where moments before there was a forest of swaying bodies. But we are not threatening, and the eels soon re-emerge, extending cautiously from their burrows until the garden is restored. They seem to communicate through their movements, each eel aware of its neighbours, the colony acting almost as a single organism, despite being composed of hundreds of individuals. Garden eels mate without leaving their burrows, stretching toward one another until they can intertwine, then returning to their separate homes. Their eggs are released into the water, where they drift on the currents until they hatch. The young eels must find their own patch of sand and dig their own burrows, joining a colony or starting a new one. There is something deeply peaceful about watching a garden eel colony. The gentle swaying, the synchronized movements, the patience of creatures who have found their place and seem content to remain there. All of this speaks to a way of being that is unhurried and rooted, literally anchored in place, yet still responsive to the world's gentle movements. The stingray's glide. A shadow passes over the sand, and we look up to see a southern stingray gliding overhead, its wings rippling in slow, graceful waves. This creature is one of the sandy plain's most elegant inhabitants, its flat body perfectly designed for life close to the seafloor. The stingray's shape is like a living kite, diamond-shaped and bordered by broad, flexible fins that it uses to propel itself through the water. Its movement is mesmerizing, a continuous ripple that passes from front to back, lifting and pushing, carrying the ray forward with effortless grace. There is no visible effort in its motion, no strain, just smooth, continuous flow. The ray settles onto the sand nearby, its body conforming to the seafloor's contours. It begins to search for food, using its wing-like fins to fan away the sand and reveal the small crustaceans, mollusks, and worms hidden beneath. Its mouth, located on its underside, is perfectly positioned for this bottom-feeding lifestyle. Stingrays have a remarkable sense of electroreception, able to detect the tiny electrical fields generated by all living creatures. Even when their prey is completely buried in the sand, invisible to eyes and hidden from other senses, the ray can locate it through these electrical signatures. It is like having a sixth sense, a way of perceiving the world that we can only imagine. The ray's tail trails behind it, long and whip-like, armed with one or more venomous spines near its base. This weapon is purely defensive. Stingrays are not aggressive and will always prefer to flee rather than fight. But if stepped on or threatened, they can deliver a painful sting that discourages predators from making the same mistake twice. Despite this defense, stingrays are gentle creatures, curious, and often surprisingly social. In some places, they have learned to associate humans with food and will approach divers with apparent friendliness, their wingtips brushing against wet suits in what seems almost like a greeting. Their skin is smooth on top, rough on the bottom, a texture that helps them grip the sand when they settle. A small group of rays has gathered here, perhaps attracted by the same productive feeding ground. They move around one another with easy grace, their paths crossing and recrossing in a slow underwater ballet. Watching them, you might almost forget they are fish at all. They seem more like birds soaring through a sky that happens to be made of water. The peacock mantis shrimp. Hidden in a burrow at the edge of the sandy plain lives one of the ocean's most remarkable creatures, the peacock mantis shrimp. Despite its name, this animal is neither a shrimp nor a mantis, but a unique crustacean with abilities that seem to border on the supernatural. The peacock mantis shrimp's colours are extraordinary. Bands of red, orange, green and blue that seem almost too vivid to be real. These colours serve as warnings to potential predators, advertising the mantis shrimp's formidable defences. And formidable they are indeed. The mantis shrimp possesses two specialised appendages that can strike with the speed of a bullet, accelerating faster than almost anything else in the animal kingdom. This strike is so fast and powerful that it can shatter aquarium glass, crack crab shells, and create a cavitation bubble, a tiny vacuum in the water that collapses with a flash of light and heat. It is one of nature's most impressive weapons, wielded by a creature no longer than your hand. But we are not here to witness violence. Let us instead appreciate the mantis shrimp's other remarkable feature, its eyes. These compound eyes are among the most complex in the animal kingdom, able to see colours that humans cannot even imagine. While we perceive three primary colours, the mantis shrimp perceives 16. Its world is painted in hues we have no names for, a spectrum of light that extends far beyond our limited vision. The mantis shrimp peers out from its burrow, its stalked eyes swivelling independently as they scan for food and danger. Each eye can see depth on its own, giving the mantis shrimp a three-dimensional view of the world from each eye separately. It is a way of seeing that we cannot truly comprehend, a visual experience so different from our own that it might as well be magic. In its burrow, the mantis shrimp lives a surprisingly domestic life. Some species mate for life, sharing their burrows and raising their young together. The female carries her eggs in her appendages, caring for them until they hatch. Both parents may participate in protecting and maintaining the burrow, a partnership that can last for 20 years or more. Chapter 9. The Twilight Zone. As we continue our journey, the water around us begins to deepen, and the light takes on a different quality. We are entering the mesopelagic zone, sometimes called the Twilight Zone, a realm where sunlight fades to a perpetual dusk, where the creatures have adapted to a world of shadows and faint glimmers. This zone extends from about 200 meters to 1,000 meters below the surface. Here, there is still enough light for vision, but not enough for photosynthesis. The plants and algae that form the base of the food chain in shallower waters cannot survive here. Instead, life depends on what falls from above, the marine snow we encountered earlier, the rain of organic matter that drifts down from the sunlit world. The creatures of the Twilight Zone have evolved remarkable adaptations to this dim environment. Many have enormous eyes to capture every available photon. Others have developed the ability to produce their own light through bioluminescence. Still others have become nearly transparent, invisible ghosts drifting through the perpetual dusk. Let us descend into this mysterious realm where the familiar rules of the surface world begin to bend and change, and new wonders reveal themselves to patient eyes. Chatty, giant squid's domain. The Twilight Zone is home to one of the ocean's most legendary creatures, the giant squid. For centuries, this animal existed only in sailors' tales and fragments of evidence. A monster of the deep that few believed could be real. Now we know that it exists, though it remains one of the ocean's most elusive inhabitants. Giant squid can grow to enormous sizes, with the largest specimens reaching lengths of over 40 feet from the tips of their tentacles to the ends of their mantles. Their eyes are the largest in the animal kingdom, the size of dinner plates, evolved to capture the faintest traces of light in their dim environment. We are unlikely to encounter a giant squid on our journey. They are rare, shy, and inhabit depths that challenge even the most advanced submersibles. But knowing they are out there, somewhere in this vast blue darkness, adds a sense of wonder to our exploration. The ocean still holds secrets, still harbours creatures that seem more myth than reality. What we might encounter are the giant squid's smaller relatives, the many species of squid that thrive in the Twilight Zone. These remarkable cephalopods are among the ocean's most intelligent invertebrates, with complex brains, sophisticated hunting strategies, and the ability to change color and texture with astonishing speed. A small group of Humboldt squid passes nearby, their bodies flashing with bioluminescent patterns that seem to serve as communication. These patterns ripple across their skin in waves of light, a language written in photons that we are only beginning to understand. They may be coordinating their hunting, signaling their moods, or communicating in ways we cannot yet comprehend. Squid move through the water by jet propulsion, drawing water into their mantles and expelling it through a siphon that can be pointed in any direction. This allows them to hover, to dart forward or backward, to change direction with remarkable agility. They are the ocean's rockets, capable of bursts of speed that few other creatures can match. The hatchetfish's silver glow. One of the twilight zone's most distinctive inhabitants is the hatchetfish, a small creature named for its blade-thin body that resembles the head of a hatchet. These fish have evolved one of nature's most clever camouflage strategies: counter-illumination. The hatchetfish's belly is lined with light-producing organs called photophores, which emit a soft blue glow that matches the faint light filtering down from above. When a predator looks up from below, the hatchetfish's silhouette, which would normally appear as a dark shape against the lighter water above, is erased by this self-generated light. The fish becomes invisible, its outline dissolved by its own bioluminescence. This strategy is common among Twilight Zone creatures, a testament to the power of evolutionary pressure in this challenging environment. When your survival depends on not being seen, you develop remarkable ways of disappearing. The hatchetfish's eyes are tubular, pointing upward to detect the silhouettes of prey against the faint light above. Its mouth opens upward as well, ready to snap up small crustaceans and other organisms that drift down from the surface. It is a creature perfectly designed for its environment, every feature adapted to the unique challenges of life in the Twilight Zone. A school of hatchetfish drifts past us now, their bodies catching what little light remains at this depth, their photophores glowing softly. They move together in loose formation, each fish maintaining its position relative to the others, the school functioning as a single, coordinated unit. The lanternfish migration. As darkness falls in the world above, the Twilight Zone comes alive with one of the greatest animal migrations on Earth. Billions of lanternfish begin their nightly journey toward the surface, rising from the depths to feed on plankton under the cover of darkness. Lanternfish are small, typically no more than a few inches long, but what they lack in individual size, they make up for in sheer numbers. Scientists estimate that lanternfish may make up as much as 60% of all deep-sea fish biomass. Their nightly migration moves more living matter than any other animal movement on the planet. Each lanternfish is decorated with rows of photophores along its belly and sides, patterns that are unique to each species and may help individuals recognize their own kind in the darkness. These lights also serve for counter-illumination, like the hatchetfish, and possibly for communication and mate attraction. The migration begins as the sun sets, triggered by the fading light. The lanternfish rise in vast columns, ascending hundreds of meters to reach the plankton-rich surface waters. They feed throughout the night, then descend again as dawn approaches, returning to the safety of the twilight zone before the light grows strong enough to reveal them to predators. This daily vertical migration has profound effects on the ocean ecosystem. The lanternfish carry nutrients from the surface to the deep, their bodies transporting energy and matter across the water column. They are a living conveyor belt, connecting the sunlit surface to the dark depths in a cycle that has continued for millions of years. We watch as the first lanternfish begin their ascent, rising past us like stars moving upward through the water. Soon they are joined by others, and others still, until the water around us is filled with small, glowing bodies, a galaxy of living lights ascending toward the distant surface. The vampire squid's gentle nature. Despite its fearsome name, the vampire squid is one of the Twilight Zone's most gentle inhabitants. This small cephalopod, rarely more than a foot long, has been swimming the deep oceans for hundreds of millions of years, a living fossil that has changed little since the age of dinosaurs. The vampire squid's name comes from its dark colouring and the webbing between its arms, which resembles a cape when spread wide. But this creature is no predator of blood. It feeds on marine snow, the gentle rain of organic matter that drifts down from above, using two long thread-like filaments to capture these falling particles. When threatened, the vampire squid has a unique defense. It can turn itself inside out, pulling its webbed arms up and over its body to display rows of fleshy spines. This transformation makes it appear larger and more threatening, though the spines are not sharp and pose no real danger. It is a bluff, a theatrical display designed to discourage predators. The vampire squid's eyes are enormous relative to its body, among the largest eyes in the animal kingdom when adjusted for body size. These eyes are adapted for the extreme darkness of its habitat, able to detect the faintest bioluminescent flashes and the dimmest traces of light from above. Unlike most cephalopods, which live fast and die young, the vampire squid has a slow metabolism and a relatively long lifespan. It moves through its dark world with unhurried grace, conserving energy, waiting for food to come to it, rather than actively hunting. In an environment where energy is scarce, this patient approach makes perfect sense. A vampire squid drifts past us now, its arms spread wide, its filaments trailing behind it like delicate fishing lines. Its body pulses gently as it moves, a slow, rhythmic contraction that propels it through the water with minimal effort. There is something almost meditative about its movement, a creature perfectly at peace with its dark and quiet world. Chapter 2: Midnight Zone. Below the twilight zone lies a realm of absolute darkness, the bathypelagic zone, sometimes called the midnight zone. Here, no trace of sunlight ever penetrates. The water is cold, the pressure immense. And yet, life continues to thrive in forms that challenge our imagination. We will not descend fully into this realm on our journey. The pressures there would crush any unprotected body, and the darkness is so complete that even our imaginations struggle to illuminate it. But let us pause at the boundary, peering down into the abyss, contemplating the creatures that make their homes in this most extreme of environments. The midnight zone extends from about 1,000 meters to 4,000 meters below the surface. The temperature hovers just above freezing, the pressure is crushing, and food is scarce. Yet life has found ways to survive and even flourish here, developing adaptations that seem almost miraculous. Many midnight zone creatures have abandoned eyes entirely, having no use for organs that detect light where no light exists. Others have developed extreme sensitivity to vibrations, chemical signals, or the electrical fields generated by other living things. In a world without light, other senses become paramount. The anglerfish's lure. One of the midnight zone's most famous inhabitants is the anglerfish, a creature so strange that it seems to belong more to nightmare than to nature. Yet there is a certain beauty in its extreme adaptations, a testament to life's ability to find a way even in the most challenging circumstances. The female anglerfish is a formidable predator, her body round and her mouth enormous, filled with long needle-like teeth that can trap any prey unlucky enough to come within reach. But her most remarkable feature is her fishing rod, a modified dorsal spine that extends from her forehead, tipped with a bioluminescent lure. In the absolute darkness of the midnight zone, this glowing lure is irresistible to small fish and crustaceans who approach it thinking it might be food or a potential mate. When they come close enough, the anglerfish strikes with lightning speed, her expandable jaws creating a suction that draws prey into her mouth before they can react. The male anglerfish is a different creature entirely, so different that scientists originally classified males and females as separate species. Males are tiny, often less than an inch long, and their sole purpose in life is to find a female and attach themselves to her permanently. When a male finds a female, he bites into her skin and fuses with her body, becoming a permanent parasite that provides sperm in exchange for nutrients. This arrangement seems harsh by human standards, but in the vast darkness of the deep ocean, where finding a mate is an enormous challenge, it makes a certain kind of sense. Once attached, the male never has to search for food or a mate again. The female gains a reliable source of sperm whenever she is ready to reproduce. Both benefit from an arrangement that would be impossible in any other environment. The gulper eel's enormous mouth. Another midnight zone resident is the gulper eel, also known as the pelican eel for its most distinctive feature, a mouth so large that it can swallow prey much bigger than itself. This mouth can unhinge like a snake's, expanding to accommodate meals that seem impossibly large for the eel's slender body. The gulper eel's body is long and whip-like, ending in a thin tail that may be tipped with a bioluminescent organ. This light might serve to attract prey, or it might help the eel find mates in the darkness. So much about these deep-sea creatures remains mysterious, their lives unfolding in a realm we can barely access. When food is scarce, as it often is in the midnight zone, the ability to consume large meals when they become available is a significant advantage. The gulper eel's expandable stomach can hold enough food to sustain the animal for weeks or even months, allowing it to survive the long periods between meals. Despite its fearsome appearance, the gulper eel is not a powerful swimmer. It drifts through the darkness, conserving energy, waiting for prey to come within reach. Its lifestyle is one of patience and opportunity, making the most of whatever the dark ocean provides. Chapter 11. Returning to the light. Our journey has taken us deep into the ocean's mysteries, from sunlit coral gardens to the edge of eternal darkness. Now, let us begin our gentle ascent, rising back through the water column toward the light, revisiting the realms we have passed through and discovering new wonders along the way. As we rise, the water around us gradually brightens. First, the faintest hint of blue appears above us, like the first light of dawn after a long night. Then the blue deepens, intensifies, becomes the familiar azure of tropical seas. We are returning to the world of light, carrying with us the memories of the darkness below. The ascent is gradual, unhurried. There is no need to rush. We have all the time in the world, all the peace of the ocean surrounding us, all the gentle currents to carry us upward toward the surface. The Jellyfish Ballet. As we rise through the water column, we encounter a gathering of moon jellyfish, their translucent bells pulsing in slow, hypnotic rhythm. These creatures are among the ocean's most ancient inhabitants, their basic body plan unchanged for over 500 million years. They were drifting through the seas before fish existed, before life had even emerged onto land. The moon jellyfish's body is simplicity itself, a bell-shaped dome of transparent tissue, fringed with short tentacles, containing 4 horseshoe-shaped reproductive organs that are visible through the clear flesh. It has no brain, no heart, no blood. Yet it lives, it feeds, it reproduces, it responds to its environment in ways that serve its survival. Watch the jellyfish pulse. The bell contracts, pushing water out and propelling the animal forward. Then it relaxes, the bell expanding, drawing in water for the next contraction. This simple motion, repeated endlessly, carries the jellyfish through the ocean with minimal expenditure of energy. Jellyfish do not truly swim so much as they drift, their pulsing providing just enough motion to keep them from sinking. They are at the mercy of the currents, carried wherever the water takes them. Yet they have survived and thrived for hundreds of millions of years, outlasting countless other species that seemed more sophisticated, more capable. The tentacles trail behind the bell, armed with stinging cells that can capture small prey. When a fish or crustacean brushes against these tentacles, the stinging cells fire, injecting venom that paralyzes the prey. The tentacles then contract, bringing the food to the jellyfish's mouth, located on the underside of the bell. A large bloom of jellyfish surrounds us now, hundreds of individuals pulsing in loose coordination. They are not truly schooling. Jellyfish lack the senses and the neural complexity for such coordinated behavior. But currents and conditions have brought them together, and they drift as a group, a living constellation of translucent bells. Some jellyfish are bioluminescent, producing their own light through chemical reactions in their tissues. At night, or in the deep ocean, these jellyfish glow with an ethereal blue or green light, creating displays that seem almost supernatural. This light may serve to startle predators, or to attract prey, or for purposes we have not yet discovered. The manta ray's flight. Breaking through a thermocline, a boundary between water layers of different temperatures, we emerge into warmer, clearer water. And there, soaring through the blue like a great underwater bird, is a manta ray, its wingspan stretching over 15 feet from tip to tip. The manta ray is one of the ocean's most majestic creatures, its body a perfect wing shape that allows it to fly through the water with effortless grace. Unlike its stingray relatives, the manta has no venomous spine on its tail. It is a gentle giant, feeding only on plankton and small fish that it filters from the water. The manta's mouth is located at the front of its body, flanked by two large cephalic fins that can be unfurled to funnel water and food into its mouth. When feeding, the manta swims in slow loops or barrel rolls, maximizing its exposure to plankton-rich water. These feeding movements are graceful and almost dance-like, the great ray spinning and turning with surprising agility. Mantas are intelligent creatures with the largest brain-to-body ratio of any fish. They have been observed engaging in play behavior, approaching divers with apparent curiosity, and even seeking out help from humans when entangled in fishing line. They recognize themselves in mirrors, suggesting a level of self-awareness rare in the animal kingdom. The manta passes close to us, its great wing casting a shadow that moves across our bodies like a passing cloud. Its eye, small relative to its massive body, seems to regard us with calm intelligence. Then it banks and turns, its wingtip almost brushing us as it wheels away into the blue. Mantas are often found at cleaning stations, specific locations on reefs where small fish gather to remove parasites from larger visitors. The mantas will hover at these stations, sometimes for hours, while cleaner fish work over their bodies, picking off parasites and dead skin. It is a relationship built on mutual benefit, a partnership between the very large and the very small. The whale shark's gentle passage. As we continue our ascent, an enormous shape materializes from the blue ahead. A whale shark, the largest fish in the ocean, its spotted body stretching over 30 feet in length. Despite its size, this creature is gentle beyond measure, feeding only on plankton and small fish, posing no threat to anything larger than a sardine. The whale shark's body is covered in a pattern of pale spots and stripes, unique to each individual like a fingerprint. Scientists use these patterns to identify and track individual whale sharks, building databases that help them understand these animals' movements and behaviors. The whale shark's mouth is enormous, up to 5 feet wide, but it contains only tiny teeth that play no role in feeding. Instead, the whale shark filters its food from the water, swimming forward with its mouth open, straining out the plankton and small fish that form its diet. It is a gentle way of feeding, passive and unhurried, requiring only that the shark keep moving through productive waters. We swim alongside the whale shark for a time, our small forms dwarfed by its massive body. Its skin is thick and rough, covered in tiny tooth-like scales called dermal denticles. Its eyes are small relative to its body, positioned on the sides of its head, giving it a wide field of vision but limited depth perception. The whale shark moves with slow, powerful strokes of its tail, each sweep propelling its massive body forward through the water. There is no hurry in its movement, no urgency. It is simply doing what it has done for millions of years, swimming, feeding, living its slow and peaceful life. Whale sharks are known to dive deep, descending to over 6,000 feet in search of food or perhaps cooler water. They migrate vast distances, crossing entire oceans in their wanderings. Some individuals have been tracked traveling over 12,000 miles in a single journey, following the plankton blooms that sustain them. Chapter 12. The Surface World. At last, we approach the surface, the boundary between the underwater world and the realm of air and light. The water grows brighter, warmer, more alive with the energy of the sun. We can see the surface now, a shimmering ceiling of silver and blue, rippling with the motion of waves. Breaking through this boundary, we emerge into a world of light and air, of sky and clouds, of the warm kiss of the sun on our faces. The transition is gentle, a soft emergence from one world into another, both beautiful, both full of wonders. But we are not finished yet. The surface waters have their own stories to tell, their own creatures to meet, their own peaceful moments to share. The dolphin's joy. A pod of spinner dolphins surrounds us, their sleek bodies cutting through the water with joyful energy. These small dolphins are named for their acrobatic spins, leaping from the water and rotating up to 7 times before splashing back down. Scientists believe these spins may help remove parasites or communicate with other dolphins, or perhaps are simply expressions of joy. Dolphins are among the ocean's most intelligent creatures, with complex social structures, sophisticated communication, and problem-solving abilities that rival those of great apes. They recognize themselves in mirrors, use tools, and teach learned behaviors to their young. They have names for one another, unique whistle patterns that identify individuals. The spinner dolphins around us chatter and click, their vocalizations filling the water with sound. These sounds serve multiple purposes: communication, echolocation, perhaps even play. Dolphins seem to enjoy making noise, filling their world with sound in ways that suggest something like music or conversation. A mother dolphin swims close, her calf tucked against her side. The baby is small, perhaps only a few weeks old, still learning the rhythms of dolphin life. It stays close to its mother, nursing frequently, protected by the entire pod from any potential threats. Dolphins sleep in an unusual way, shutting down only half their brain at a time while the other half remains alert. This allows them to continue swimming and breathing even while resting, and to remain watchful for predators. It is a reminder that even in rest, life in the ocean requires constant awareness. The flying fish's escape. A disturbance in the water ahead sends a school of flying fish bursting from the surface. their wing-like pectoral fins spread wide as they glide through the air. These remarkable fish have evolved the ability to escape predators by leaving the water entirely, soaring for distances of up to a quarter mile on a single glide. The flying fish's technique is remarkable. It builds speed underwater, then breaks the surface and spreads its fins, using the lift generated by its wing-like appendages to stay airborne. Its tail, still in the water, can provide additional thrust, allowing the fish to extend its glide or change direction. We watch as the flying fish sail past, their silvery bodies catching the sunlight, their fins translucent against the blue sky. They seem to hang in the air for impossibly long moments before splashing back into the water, safe, at least for now, from whatever predator drove them to flight. Flying fish are prey for many creatures, both in the water and in the air. Dolphins, tuna, and marlins hunt them from below, while seabirds snatch them from the air during their glides. Their lives are lived in constant awareness of danger, their remarkable flying ability their best defense against a world full of hungry mouths. The ocean's surface at sunset. As our journey nears its end, the sun begins to set, painting the sky and water in shades of orange and gold and pink. The ocean's surface becomes a mirror, reflecting the colors of the sky, blurring the boundary between water and air into a seamless gradient of warmth and light. This is the ocean at its most peaceful, the day's energy fading into the gentle embrace of evening. The waves have calmed, the wind has softened, and a profound stillness settles over the water. Even the creatures seem to slow, their movements becoming more languid, more relaxed, as if the entire ocean is preparing for rest. A sea turtle surfaces nearby, taking a breath before settling into a floating rest. Its shell breaks the surface like a small island, its flippers spread wide for stability. It will drift here through the night, sleeping at the surface, rising occasionally to breathe, safe in the vast and peaceful ocean. The colors of the sunset deepen, the oranges becoming reds, the pinks becoming purples. Stars begin to appear in the darkening sky. First one, then another, then thousands, a canopy of light that mirrors the bioluminescence beginning to glow in the water below. Final reflections. And so our journey comes to its gentle close. We have travelled through the ocean's many realms, from sunlit shallows to the edge of eternal darkness. We have met creatures of extraordinary beauty and remarkable adaptation, each one perfectly suited to its place in the vast underwater world. The ocean covers more than 70% of our planet's surface, yet we've explored only a tiny fraction of its wonders. There are creatures we have not met, places we have not visited, mysteries we have not even begun to unravel. The deep sea remains one of the last great frontiers of exploration, a realm that holds secrets we cannot yet imagine. But for now, let us rest in the peace we have found. Let the memory of the ocean's gentle embrace carry you into deep and restful sleep. Remember the slow pulse of the jellyfish, the graceful flight of the manta ray, the patient waiting of the garden eels in their sandy meadow. The ocean asks nothing of us but our wonder. It offers its beauty freely, its peace without condition. In its depths, we find a reminder that the world is vast and full of marvels, that life takes forms beyond our imagination, that patience and adaptation can overcome any challenge. As you drift towards sleep, imagine yourself still floating in that warm, blue water. Feel the gentle currents supporting you, carrying you, cradling you in the ocean's endless embrace. The creatures we met continue their lives around you. The coral polyps feeding in the night, the parrotfish sleeping in their mucus cocoons, the lanternfish rising toward the surface in their nightly migration. You are part of this world, connected to it by the water that makes up most of your body, by the oxygen that began its journey in ocean plants, by the ancient memory of the sea that lives in every cell of your being. The ocean is not separate from you. It is part of you, and you are part of it. Rest now, dear traveller. Let the ocean's peace become your peace. Let its gentle rhythms become your rhythms. Let its vast and patient presence remind you that there is no need to hurry, no need to worry, no need to do anything but breathe and rest and drift into the healing embrace of deep, peaceful sleep. The ocean will be here when you wake, its wonders waiting to be explored again. But for now, sleep. Sleep deeply. Sleep peacefully. Sleep as the creatures of the deep sleep. Held by the water, rocked by the currents, safe in the endless blue. Good night, dear traveller. May your dreams be filled with the gentle wonders of the sea. Soft ambient sounds continue. Gentle waves, distant whale song, peaceful silence. End of script. Final word count. Approximately 6,800 words. This continuation. Combined. Total, approximately 22 to 74 words.